Guys, this is Bigbird again. Thought it was about time to give a little update for you guys. I apologize for having to shut down that other video, but my wife and I were just getting overloaded with orders and just exceeded our production capacity, so we had to shut it down. And we're now just catching up on orders after 2 months. Certainly appreciate everyone's patience. It's been challenging for us. And we're trying to increase production, come up with different equipment, and it's a lot of learning involved, but hopefully we'll get there. But I wanted to show you briefly some of my accessories on this little R26. I was very fortunate to meet a fine gentleman whose name is Mike Taylor, who owns Rangeland, just north of Charlottesville, Virginia, near Ruckersville. And I was speaking to him and told him that I was having a problem trying to get this daggone top mount quiver mount to work on all the Ravens. It turns out that that's been a real challenge because the Raven over the years has tried to standardize on their machining, and as a result there's different vintages of this front end. He surprised me and said, "Well, Bill, just take the boat home and take your time and figure out the fit." So anyway, if you ever get out that way, I highly recommend you stop by Rangeland. They sell a whole lot of Ravens, and they're very good folks to deal with. I even hope that they'll be selling my Raven accessories as time goes on. Okay, I'll just show you one of the first things you'll notice. I put my stirrup from my R10. I moved it over to this little rascal because I can't seem to make enough of these things, and they go as fast as I make them. So I had to just transfer this one over from my personal R10. But you'll notice it's just ideal for carrying this little sucker. And it's a nice advantage of it is that with 20-inch arrows, even you can hold it like this in your blind, and your rawhead won't get in the dirt. That's a huge benefit. Some of you might not have seen my bird mount or rear crank handle holder for the small Ravens. So there's what she looks like. I've been actually making those for well over a year, close to 2 years probably. But anyway, that allows you to, of course, not have to worry about reaching up front to get your crank handle to cock. It's back where you need it. And if you'll notice, it's got the stirrup, the sling holders. And you might ask, well, why are there two of them? And that's because all you have to do is take these two screws loose and just merely take this thing and flip it around like that, 180 degrees, and you can mount it on this side. And if you do, the sling mounts are still centered underneath the bow, no matter if it's mounted on the left side or the right side. So that's why there's two sling mounts on this rear crank handle holder. It works just like the one on the larger bows. It just has a different type of arm on it. It's very lightweight. Again, only weighs 1.4 ounces. Speaking of weight, this is my, I finally have the top quiver mount functioning now for all Ravens. It'll work on any of them, and trust me, it took a lot of effort to get there. It wouldn't even work on consistent R10s. New R10s, it wouldn't work. Old R10s fit fine. So anyway, after a lot of trials and tribulations and sending stuff back and forth to folks, and getting both a new R10 and an old R10 and R29, R26, I finally have got something that's universal that'll work on all of them. And again, as you can see, it's very quick to use. It just pops in and out. Now you might want to ask, well, where's my third arrow? Well, I'm going to show you where my third arrow is before this video is over. But the reason it's not in the quiver is because some folks have asked, well, Bill, if you put that quiver on, can you still use your Oracle X. Um, so let me show you. You can keep the quiver on and still use the Oracle X. And I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to set this down over here. You can see the differences in the size of these two bows. That little R26 is a real pocket rocket. Okay, I'm going to grab my R10 now. It's got my Oracle X on it. And pop the quiver mount on. And I decided that someone had asked me the other day several things that I realized I hadn't answered. One was, what's the weight of the stirrup? The stirrup weighs exactly 3.6 ounces, and coincidentally, the Ravin quiver mount crank handle holder that goes in front, without either the crank handle holder, the crank handle or the quiver mount, the quiver itself installed weighs identically exactly the same amount, 3.6 ounces. So if you ditch that and put my stirrup on, you have the added benefit of being able to point it down to the ground in a blind and not have your 20-inch arrow hit the dirt, but it's no net gain in weight. Of course, if you mount the top mount quiver holder on any Ravin, that weighs 1.4 ounces as well. Actually weighs identically the same amount of weight as the rear crank handle holder. But anyway, getting back to the Oracle X, if you'll notice, of course I don't have the third arrow on there, but I specifically designed this mount. It's not just an accident where it's located. It's located there because it still allows the laser rangefinder to focus onto the target and reflect back and not be not be obstructed by the top mount quiver. And to prove that point, I went out here a few minutes ago and used my trusty Primos polecat shooting sticks. These things were just awesome. They're lightweight. You can telescope them down to nothing and put them in a Ravin soft case, and they clip right on here on this knurled stainless steel bolt that I produce. And I merely took my trusty R10 and with the top mount quiver on, and of course the third arrow, the inside arrow I removed to load it, and took a shot. And we'll walk down there and show you the shot. But of course, all crossbows are very accurate. But what makes Ravins kind of unique? I've been tuning compound bows ever since they've come out, and been shooting a recurve or compound since I was 16, and I'm 73 now. And I can tell you that what separates a Ravin from the other crossbows, and I've owned a bunch, Barnetts, Dartons, Scorpions, is that the owner can tune the Ravin. The only point of contact of the arrow is this rest, these rest rollers. There's no machine channel in the rail like any other crossbow. So that means that if you are comfortable in tuning crossbows like I have been for years with compounds, if you learn how to adjust your cables and time your cams, you can shoot just remarkable groups with a Ravin. And there's so little to wear. The only point of contact are those two rollers. So we're going to walk down to this target now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. As you can see, this is my very first shot with my R10. It was only 26 yards. The local X ranged exactly 26 yards with the top mount quiver on, and I center punched the dot. And I bet I can do that 5 times in a row because I've got my Ravin tuned and it shoots lights out. No, it's only 26 yards, but I've been very successful shooting a whole lot of deer. My average distance to the deer has probably been 30 yards or less. I think the furthest I've ever shot one was 35. Well, anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. And again, appreciate the patience of all you guys. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye now.